All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krug Show with a little 49er video as we talk a little bit about the Niner rookie class for 2025 and some of the interesting little anecdotes and observations we had from watching their initial interviews that they did at the facility with the Niner media, which we were there for all those interviews. So we are brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville. They're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. We're also brought to you, as you can see on the bottom of the screen, by Claw Daddy Arcades. They're a great follow on Instagram at Claw_Daddy_Arcades to find a location near you. And they do have a brand new location in Capitola Mall down in the South Bay and also in Visalia Mall down in the Central Valley. Claw Daddy Arcades, a proud sponsor of the Krug Show. And we're also brought to you by LearnKey Upskill Academy. The show is, or the video is sponsored by them. They're an online learning platform designed to get you job ready in 6 months or less, whether you're interested in any number of fields. They offer 30 different certification programs to help you take that next step in your professional career. They've been in business for 37 years. They've helped over 200,000 students. They place about 100 students every month in well-paying jobs. So LearnKey Upskill Academy, and the links are in the description below for all of our sponsors. All right, let's talk a little bit about the Niner rookies. We had a chance to talk to each and every one of the Niner rookies when they came in, and the Niners posted a video on YouTube just kind of breaking down like basically all their videos, and we'll share the screen. You guys can take a look at what I'm talking about. So basically, the 49ers have a video out, and here's Upton Stout, and the Niner rookies just sharing their reflections and their goals for the first minicamp, and had a chance to review some of the video that they put out. And there's a number of interesting observations that I want to share with you guys. Now, one, why don't we start with the guy that's right on the screen right now, Upton Stout. I just think that, he's a great kid. I mean, this kid is if you could clone this kid, you would. He flew in from Houston. He said he's focused on football. He's got a chip on his shoulder. This kid stayed at Western Kentucky over big money NIL offers from the University of Michigan out of loyalty. So, he's focused, he's determined, he's driven. He clearly has already watched Niners 2024 film. He's very strong, 21 reps at 225. And I loved what he said when they talked to him. He's like, man, it is my time to go earn a spot. He's like, I got to go earn my spot. And, I mean, that's just the right mentality. You want to have the right mentality as a rookie, have that mentality that it's time for you to come in and earn your spot. And this guy's determined. He's focused. I mean, we had talked to him right after he first came to minicamp. He had already watched 2024 film of the Niners because he wants to step in and start at that nickel corner in the slot. And it looks like he's going to. So Upton Stout was the first guy that we talked to. Very impressive, great personality, and really enjoyed that conversation. Then we had a chance to talk to Marques Sigle, and he said that his dad's a big 49er fan, which was very cool. It's always cool to hear that. And then I asked him about, because he's got experience playing corner, and how much that helped him at safety, and he said it absolutely has helped him. He said his first memories of the Niners were the Niner-Ravens Super Bowl 47, which we're all trying to block out of our consciousness. He said the guy that he studies a lot is Cam Chancellor, and the guy that he really likes to watch right now is Brian Branch. And to me, I would say that is the perfect guy for any young safety to watch is Brian Branch. Brian Branch is an instructional video on how to play safety. So if Marques Sigle is studying Brian Branch, that is a great thing. I thought that was a fantastic little revelation. Then we had a chance to talk to Nick Martin, the Niners' third-round pick out of Oklahoma State. And, Nick wore the animal slippers to the interview, and he's just a different guy. You can kind of tell. He said he likes animals. He loves the animal slippers. He said it was cool to meet Fred Warner. He was asked, when he was hurt this final year at Oak State, how did he use his time? And he said, hey, man, I became more of a vocal leader. said really, he loved Greenlaw and Warner's, fire and violence and the way that they played. He says, "Hey man, I play with reckless abandon." It seems like he's in a lifelong goal to show the world that he's not too small to play football. So he says he's happy for the opportunity. He's clearly a smart guy. The thing though that I took away from Nick Martin was he's got 3 older brothers, and he said his mom said they fought so much that he said that his mom bought him all boxing gloves, and he said he basically fought a lot. And you know what? That's what the NFL is. It's a gigantic fist fight. And so, you know what? I like linebackers who have fought a lot. To me, that's a strength, not a weakness. So when you hear, Nick Martin say, "Yeah, man, I fought a lot. I fought a lot back in college." You know what? That's a good thing. That's a good thing because he's gonna have to fight more in the NFL. Then we had a chance to talk to C.J. West, and man, C.J. West is just such a star. First of all, I loved how he said that he didn't care where he was drafted. He's like, "I wasn't worried where I was drafted. I know I'm good. I know I'll work hard. I know I'm gonna be good." Wasn't worried. Wasn't worried if he was a day 3 pick. Wasn't worried about it. Like, yeah, not worried. I'll make it happen. I love that confidence. He joked about how he met Alfred Collins in the airport and Nick Martin, and he's like, "Yeah, I could spot Alfred Collins." Someone's like, how'd you spot Alfred Collins? Now that may have been the dumbest question any media person has ever asked. Alfred Collins is 6'6", 350 pounds or whatever. And it's funny too because Collins said he recognized C.J. West in the airport, and people were like, "Well, how'd you recognize him?" And he's like, "What? How'd I recognize him? He's huge. C.J. West is 6'2", 320 pounds." He's like, he's big too, man. I noticed him. That was what Collins said about West. But West, what a great interview he was. And I thought he gave us a couple of really good things. One, he said he really looked up to Nick Bosa. He really looks up to Trent Williams. Wasn't worried about where he was drafted. Very cool. But he said he loves Kurtis Rourke, that was his quarterback in Indiana. And a couple times he's like, man, he's a leader. He's a high character guy. He does everything right. He says everything right. He's just a leader. And, you could see the conviction that C.J. West had in his voice when he was talking about Kurtis Rourke. But the thing that really jumped out about C.J. West is when he started talking about his game. And he's like, "My violence is what separates me from everybody else." And I would agree. If you said to me, what is the trait that you saw in C.J. West that made you want the Niners to draft him? Just violence. He was violent in the East-West Shrine practices in Frisco, Texas, leading up to that All-Star game. Violent with his hands. You can see him throw offensive linemen away like they're nothing. And he's just a violent football player. So loved talking to C.J. West, and I love the fact that he's like, "Man, I'm a violent player." It's like, yeah, that is what makes him him. He plays with incredible violence. All right, he was the 4th guy we talked to. The 5th guy was Alfred Collins. And Collins, I'll say this. I didn't get any bad vibes from anybody, but Collins, I don't know if I got great vibes. One, he said he met Fred Warner. That was good. He said he recognized C.J. West at the airport. He mentioned that he studies Calais Campbell, and that he wants to use his power more. But when he was asked about, his conditioning and he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm going to get out there." Well, that was weeks ago, and he still hasn't gotten out there. So I kind of wonder if he's like, yeah. Let me just say what I need to say to get the people in front of me out of my face. And then when he was asked about who he watches in the NFL, he's like, "I don't watch a lot of NFL football." So I don't know. I mean, Alfred Collins is big. He played at Texas. He played 48 of 49 games, so he was durable. Maybe he'll be great, but he's definitely sent some weird vibes. The fact that he was saying that he's fine, he's going to be fine, and then he's not on the field, and that he doesn't watch NFL football. You don't watch NFL football? I would say that's not a good thing. I would say it's not a good thing. He did say he studied Calais Campbell, so he's got to be watching some. But I didn't love what I heard from Alfred Collins. I want to hear, yes, I watch NFL football. I live, eat, breathe NFL football. I'm immersed in NFL football. Not like I don't watch a lot of it. And, I'm healthy, but I haven't got on the field yet. So I don't know. He's got this calf strain. He's been in a walking boot since before the draft. My biggest concern about Alfred Collins is his durability. And after watching this interview, my second biggest concern is how much does he really love football? I don't know. To me, when you don't watch a lot of football and you're not practicing, I don't know. Very, very skeptical after watching that Alfred Collins interview. Then we had a chance to talk to Connor Colby, the guard from Iowa. And he said he played right guard at Iowa, but he also told us that he played left guard and right tackle as well at Iowa. And he said there's a lot of parallels between Iowa's system and the Niners system. He talked about how he's got a marlin tattoo. He caught a marlin, a gigantic marlin in Mexico. And, we'll see. I mean, Colby, just kind of a aw shucks kind of a guy. This guy started 50 games in college. I think he's going to give Ben Barch a pretty good run for his money at that starting left guard spot. And then we had a chance to talk to Isaiah Neyor. And Nayor's interesting. I mean, one, he's just so ridiculously athletic. You can see that just by looking at him. And it's funny. He was asked, why did you sign with the 49ers? Now, the Niners gave him $259,000 guaranteed, so that partly, I'm sure, was one of the reasons. But he also said he knew some of the 49er assistant coaches. And that's really a big driving force for a lot of these undrafted players. It's like, I want to go somewhere where somebody knows me or somebody is invested in me and somebody believes in me. And so he knew some of the Niner coaches, assistant coaches, and that's why he came here. I thought that was interesting. He did say he really likes to block. He says he's going to work as hard as he can. He was asked, who do you model your game after? And he said, hey, man, I grew up a Cowboys fan, and I always watched Dez Bryant. So Isaiah Neyor says, hey, I've modeled my game after Dez Bryant. So I thought that was really interesting. Then we had a chance to talk to Junior Bergen, and Bergen was the kick returner, punt returner from Montana. You can clearly see he's smart. But he also kind of gave it away that maybe the Niners wasted a 7th-round pick on him because he said he would have signed with the Niners as an undrafted player. So they probably could have used the 7th-round pick on somebody else, but they wanted him anyway. What I love to hear about him, though, in this interview, he, as a wide receiver, he says he's an all-around player. He likes to block. He'll make catches. He'll do what the team needs. But then he was asked, what is your career goal for yourself? And he's like, I want to be in the Hall of Fame. And he was dead serious. And it's like, that's an eye-opener right there. When a guy says, hey, you know what? I want to be in the Hall of Fame, that means he has very high aspirations for his career. I don't know if that means he's going to be a good player or not. He's either, crazy and is nuts and there's no chance he's going to be a Hall of Famer, or he's really, really, really talented, and we just haven't figured that out yet, and maybe this guy will be a very good NFL player. I mean, if your goal is to be a Hall of Famer and you fail at your goal and you're still a very good NFL player, aren't you a success? I would say you are. So I like a guy who walks in saying, I want to go to the Hall. I want to go to Canton. And then he was asked, who do you watch film of? And he says he watches a lot of Amon-Ra, St. Brown. And that's a great guy to watch. Why? Because Amon-Ra runs perfect routes, and he's very nuanced. Everything he does is very nuanced. He's worked at it. He's put in the field reps. Amon-Ra loves football, and he's a very, very refined route runner. So for Junior Bergen, who's really known as a return man, who's going to try to make try to make it in the NFL as a backup wide receiver, the fact that he studies Amon-Ra St. Brown, I don't know. To me, that's intriguing. That's exciting. And I think that's probably a good thing. So there you go. Just a little breakdown on some of the 49er rookies. If you just say, what were your takeaways on the Niner rookies? Well, on Sigle, my takeaway is that he really studies Brian Branch. For Upton Stout, my takeaway is that this guy looks so advanced and so determined to start. He doesn't look like he wants to make the team. He looks like he wants to start. That's a great thing. For Nick Martin, the fact that he likes to fight. You know, I mean, he's a linebacker in the NFL. You better like, to fight, and he likes to fight. CJ West, what he told us about Kurtis Rourke as a leader and how violence is kind of the defining characteristic of his game. I think that's what stood out to me about him. Alfred Collins, what stood out to me is that he hasn't gotten on the field and he doesn't watch a lot of NFL, and he gave off a vibe like he doesn't love football. Just being honest. Connor Colby kind of strikes me as kind of an old school throwback. He's got the mullet. He's got the Marlin tattoo. He seems kind of like an aw shucks, offensive lineman who will do what he's told, but he's got experience at right guard, left guard, and right tackle. So as a backup, 49er backup offensive lineman, when they're sitting there at the cut down going, who do we keep as our final offensive lineman? They may keep Colby, and they may keep Colby because of he's got experience at right guard, left guard, and right tackle, that versatility. As far as Neyor, to me, the fact that he grew up a Cowboys fan, I can't forget that. And then he models his game after Des Bryant, and that he came to the Niners because he knew some of their coaches. And then Junior Bergen. I mean, anytime a guy says, I study Amon-Ra and I want to be a Hall of Famer, that makes you sit there and go, wow, we'll have to take a look at him this summer. So just some anecdotes from some of the interviews that the Niners put out on their rookies. I would encourage all of you guys, go check that out at 49ers.com or on the 49er YouTube page. They're really good interviews, and they do provide some insight into what makes some of these rookie players tick. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueger Show. Thanks to LearnKey Upskill Academy and Claw Daddy Arcades for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krueger Show on YouTube.